Mechanics, fleet managers, and high-mileage drivers are quietly warning each other about 10 trucks that are financial disasters waiting to happen. Here's what they don't want you to know. These trucks are being secretly dumped by owners who know the truth. The experts I'm talking about are the guys who see these trucks when the warranties expire, when the real problems start showing up. They're mechanics with 30 years of experience, fleet managers running hundreds of vehicles, and resale analysts who track which trucks lose value fastest. If you want the truth about what's really happening in the truck market, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's protect each other from these corporate money grabs. Number 10. Used Ram 1500 2013 to 2018 DS generation. This is a full-size pickup, avoiding years 2013 to 2018, especially models with air suspension. Here's the core problem: expensive air suspension failure that turns your truck into a lowrider. The optional 4-corner air suspension offers a sublime ride, but becomes a long-term financial liability. According to RepairPal and fleet maintenance data, the airbags, compressor, and solenoid blocks are prone to failure, especially in cold climates. When this system fails, you're looking at thousands in repair costs compared to standard coil springs. The famous Hemi-tick indicates failing lifters, and exhaust manifolds crack, causing tractor-like noises. Potential maintenance costs run $4,000 to $6,000 for lifter repairs, $2,000 to $3,000 for exhaust manifolds. Expect the engine to last 200,000 to 250,000 miles with proper maintenance, but the air suspension will fail much sooner. Industry experts warn that owners are quietly unloading these before major suspension work becomes necessary. What makes this even worse is that many buyers don't realize the air suspension is optional equipment until it fails, then discover that converting to standard springs costs almost as much as fixing the air system, leaving them trapped with an expensive repair bill either way. Number 9. Used Ford Ranger 2019 to 2022. This is a mid-size pickup, avoiding the years 2019 to 2022 with a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine. Here's what's really frustrating: overpriced and unrefined for what you get. The Ranger was criticized upon re-release for feeling like a truck built for international markets, not American buyers. Consumer Reports shows the 2.3-liter EcoBoost is thirsty for a 4-cylinder, delivering mediocre fuel economy. The interior lacks the comfort and modern feel of competitors like the newer Tacoma or refreshed Colorado. Fleet owner data indicates higher than expected maintenance costs for a mid-size truck. Potential maintenance expenses run $1,200 to $2,000 annually, with turbocharger issues appearing around 80,000 miles. Expect 180,000 to 220,000 miles with proper care. Industry experts say you pay a premium for a truck that delivers subpar fuel economy and an unrefined driving experience compared to proven alternatives. The real kicker is that Ford had years to perfect this truck for the American market, but instead delivered something that feels like a compromise between global requirements and domestic expectations, satisfying neither market particularly well while charging premium pricing for mediocre execution. Number 8. New Toyota Tundra 2022 Plus SR base trim. This is a full-size pickup, avoiding the 2022 Plus SR base trim with the detuned twin-turbo V6. Here's the problem: weak base engine tune and limited options that hurt resale value. The base SR trim gets a detuned version of the twin-turbo V6, making 348 horsepower versus 389 on other trims. According to J.D. Power, the SR lacks modern features like the full digital gauge cluster and is only available in basic configurations. Fleet data shows buyers regret saving money up front because the SR feels slow and cheap compared to other Tundras. Maintenance costs run $800 to $1,200 annually, but the detuned engine may not last as long under stress. Expect 200,000 to 250,000 miles with proper care. Resale analysts warn the SR is extremely difficult to sell later because it feels like a different, inferior truck compared to higher trims. What's particularly frustrating is that Toyota artificially crippled a perfectly good engine just to create price tiers, meaning you're not getting a budget version of the same truck. You're getting a deliberately weakened version that will disappoint you every time you drive it and hurt you financially when you try to sell it. Number 7. Used Nissan Frontier pre-2022 generation. This is a midsize pickup, avoiding all pre-2022 model years, especially those with automatic transmissions. Here's what makes this a disaster: ancient platform and SMOD stigma that kills resale value. The 2005 to 2021 generation was based on a 17-year-old design that became severely outdated. Consumer Reports data shows the old generation carries the SMOD stigma, strawberry milkshake of death, where the radiator fails and mixes coolant with transmission fluid, causing catastrophic transmission failure. While not all models are affected, the stigma destroys resale value. Maintenance costs are moderate at $700 to $1,000 annually, but potential transmission replacement runs $4,000 to $6,000. Expect 180,000 to 220,000 miles with careful maintenance. Industry experts say the ancient design and transmission failure reputation make these trucks nearly impossible to sell to savvy buyers in 2025. The most infuriating part is that Nissan knew about the SMOD problem for years, but continued selling trucks with a defective design, leaving thousands of owners with worthless vehicles and massive repair bills, while the company profited from selling known defective products to unsuspecting customers. Number 6. Honda Ridgeline, any used model. This is a mid-size pickup avoiding any used model year with the 3.5-liter V6 engine. Here's the core issue: the untrucked depreciation that destroys your investment. While comfortable and practical, the Ridgeline's unibody construction and low towing capacity mean it carries a stigma in the used market. According to automotive resale data, serious truck buyers avoid it, which depresses resale value compared to a Tacoma or even the new Maverick. The truck is reliable with maintenance costs around $600 to $900 annually, and you can expect 250,000 plus miles with proper care. But here's the problem: it's an excellent SUV with an open trunk, not a traditional truck. Fleet managers warn that if you don't understand this going in, you'll lose significant value when you try to sell. The Ridgeline works great for suburban duties, but fails in the resale market where truck buyers want traditional body-on-frame construction. What makes this particularly painful is that Honda built a genuinely good vehicle that serves most people's actual needs perfectly, but the truck market punishes anything that doesn't conform to traditional expectations, leaving Ridgeline owners with a great truck that nobody wants to buy at a fair price. Number 5. Used Chevrolet Silverado / GMC Sierra 2015 to 2020. This is a full-size pickup, avoiding years 2015 to 2020, especially with the 8-speed automatic transmission. Here's the big problem: 8-speed transmission shudder that requires expensive repairs. These models use the GM 8L45/8L 98-speed automatic that develops a pronounced shudder when the factory fluid degrades. According to motor and fleet maintenance records, the torque converter fails, causing violent shaking throughout the vehicle. The fix requires transmission fluid flushes and torque converter replacement, often multiple times, costing thousands. Many owners try to sell before this major service becomes due. Maintenance costs run $900 to $1,400 annually, with transmission work adding $3,000 to $5,000. Expect 200,000 to 250,000 miles if you can avoid the transmission issues. Industry experts warn that once the shudder starts, it's often a recurring problem that makes these trucks unreliable for daily use. The most frustrating aspect is that GM knew about this problem early in production, but continued building trucks with a defective transmission design, then tried to fix it with software updates and fluid changes that only provided temporary relief, leaving owners with a permanent problem that destroys the driving experience. Number 4. Used Ford F-150 2017 to 2023 3.5-liter EcoBoost. This is a full-size pickup, avoiding years 2017 to 2020 with the first-generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine. Here's the disaster: a cam phaser repair bomb that costs more than many cars. The second-generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost is powerful, but plagued by failing timing chains and cam phasers that cause loud rattling on startup. Consumer Reports and RepairPal data show this is an engine-out repair costing $4,000 to $6,000. The problem is so common that buyers are terrified of inheriting this expensive repair. Maintenance costs run $1,000 to $1,500 annually, but the cam phaser failure can happen anytime after 60,000 miles. Expect 180,000 to 220,000 miles if you avoid the timing chain disaster. Fleet managers say owners are quietly unloading these trucks before the cam phasers fail, because the repair cost exceeds the truck's value in many cases. What makes this absolutely infuriating is that Ford marketed these engines as advanced, fuel-efficient power plants, while knowing they had fundamental design flaws that would cost owners thousands of dollars to fix, essentially selling customers a ticking time bomb disguised as cutting-edge technology. Number 3. Used Toyota Tundra 2014 to 2021 V8. This is a full-size pickup, avoiding years 2014 to 2021 with the 5.7-liter V8 engine. Here's what's killing owners: a terrifying fuel economy that's unsustainable with current gas prices. This is a reliable truck, but the 5.7-liter V8 is a dinosaur that routinely delivers 13 to 15 miles per gallon combined. According to Fleet Fuel Cost Analysis, the brutal pump costs are forcing owners to quietly dump these trucks. With gas prices staying high, the fuel costs become unbearable for daily drivers. Maintenance costs are reasonable at $700 to $1,100 annually, and you can expect 250,000 to 300,000 miles with proper care. But here's the problem: the new twin-turbo V6 models are now available, so V8 Tundra owners are escaping to avoid the fuel costs. Industry experts say these are reliable trucks being abandoned purely because of operating costs, not mechanical problems. The cruel irony is that Toyota built one of the most reliable truck engines ever made, but the fuel economy is so bad that owners can't afford to drive them daily, making reliability meaningless when the operating costs force you to park the truck and buy something else just to afford your commute. Number 2. Used Jeep Gladiator any year. This is a mid-size pickup, avoiding any model year with any engine configuration. Here's the core problem: massive depreciation and identity crisis that destroys value. The Gladiator suffers from trying to be both a Wrangler and a truck while succeeding fully at neither. According to automotive resale analysts, The long wheelbase compromises Jeep's off-road prowess, and the low payload towing capacity compromises truck utility. The result is high depreciation because it doesn't excel in any category. Maintenance costs run $800 to $1,200 annually, and you can expect 200,000 to 250,000 miles with proper care. But here's what's devastating. The high price tag combined with high depreciation and functional compromises make this a terrible financial decision. Facebook groups exist just for Gladiator owners discussing depreciation losses. Industry experts warn this is a niche vehicle that appeals to few buyers in the used market. The most painful part is that Jeep charge premium pricing for a vehicle that compromises everything that makes a Wrangler special, while failing to deliver the capability that makes a truck useful, leaving owners with an expensive vehicle that disappoints in every category while losing value faster than almost anything else on the road. Number 1. Used heavy-duty diesels, 2011 to 2016. This is a heavy-duty pickup, avoiding years 2011 to 2016, especially early Ford and Ram diesels with complex emission systems. Here's the absolute worst problem: an emission system catastrophe that can cost more than the truck is worth. The complex early generation emission systems, specifically the diesel particulate filter DPF and EGR cooler, are notoriously unreliable and extremely expensive to fix. According to fleet maintenance data and consumer reports, these trucks are highly desirable for their power, but the emission system maintenance often causes owners to dump them before warranty expires. When the DPF fails, you're looking at $8,000 to $15,000 in repairs. The EGR systems clog and cause total power loss. Turbochargers explode before 80,000 miles, and NOx sensors cost over $2,000 to replace. Maintenance costs run $1,500 to $2,500 annually, but emissions failures can happen anytime. Expect 200,000 to 300,000 miles from the engine if you can afford the emissions repairs. Industry experts call these guaranteed time bombs because the emissions system failures are inevitable and catastrophically expensive. What makes this the ultimate betrayal is that manufacturers knew these early emission systems were unreliable, but were forced to rush them to market to meet government deadlines, then sold them to customers as proven technology while knowing full well that the complex systems would fail expensively, leaving working people with trucks they can't afford to fix or sell. Let me be straight with you. These trucks aren't failing because of bad luck. They're failing because manufacturers prioritize profits over reliability, and now working Americans are paying the price. The experts I talk to see the same patterns over and over: expensive repairs right after warranty, owners desperately trying to sell before major failures, and dealerships that won't stand behind their products. If you want a truck that'll actually serve you instead of bankrupting you, avoid these disasters completely. Do your research, listen to the people who actually fix these things, and choose wisely. Your wallet will thank you later. Smash that like button if this opens your eyes to what's really happening. Subscribe for more industry truth that protects your wallet, and ring that notification bell. Let me know in the comments which of these disasters you've experienced personally. Until next time.